The fabric tore with a sound like thunder, in slow motion. The floral dress split down Jessica Walker's back, revealing pale skin marked with scars. But her eyes weren't filled with fear. They were cold, calculating, like a predator finally dropping its mask. "Your mother had the same marks, didn't she?" she whispered, turning to face Ethan Mitchell. The classroom fell silent. 23 students frozen in shock. Phones still recording. But that moment, that precise moment when the 24-year-old history teacher stopped pretending to be prey, that's when everything changed. 6 weeks earlier, Jessica Walker gripped the steering wheel of her Honda Civic as she pulled into Riverside High School's parking lot. The massive football stadium loomed against the Kansas morning sky, its shadow falling across rows of expensive cars. She parked between a Mercedes and a Range Rover, her modest sedan looking out of place. She sat for a moment, rereading the crumpled letter on her passenger seat. Maria Santos's handwriting was shaky, desperate. 4 teachers destroyed, 27 complaints ignored. He's untouchable. The whole system protects him. Please, someone needs to stop this. Jessica folded the letter carefully and tucked it into her purse. Then she popped the trunk. Inside, next to boxes of history textbooks, lay a black duffel bag. She unzipped it briefly, checking the contents: Krav Maga gear, recording devices, and a thick folder labeled Mitchell, Ethan, Predator Profile. "Not anymore," she whispered, closing the trunk. The main hallway of Riverside High buzzed with first-day energy. Jessica walked slowly, deliberately projecting nervousness. She clutched her lesson plans too tightly, let her hands shake just slightly. Several male students noticed her immediately. Fresh meat. Room 217. Her new classroom. She fumbled with the keys, dropping them once. A passing student snickered. Perfect. She was writing Miss Walker, U.S. History, on the whiteboard when they entered. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. 6 boys walked in like they owned the place, and, at their center, Ethan Mitchell, 6'3", built like a linebacker, with eyes that reminded Jessica of a shark. Dead, hungry, calculating. Well, Ethan said, his voice honey smooth. Fresh blood. His pack, the wolf pack. She'd learned it, they called themselves, spread out, taking strategic positions around the room. Tyler Brooks by the door. Mason Hughes near the windows. Like they'd done this before, many times. Jessica let the marker slip from her fingers. It clattered on the floor, rolling toward Ethan's feet. She started to bend down, then hesitated, looking flustered. "Need help, Miss Walker?" Ethan picked up the marker, stepping close. Too close. She could smell his cologne. Expensive. Suffocating. "Thank you," she stammered, reaching for the marker. He held it just out of reach, studying her. Nervous. "First day," she managed, finally grasping the marker when he released it. "Don't worry," Ethan smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. "We'll take good care of you." The Wolfpack chuckled. A rehearsed sound. Jessica turned back to the board, letting her hand tremble as she continued writing. Behind her, she heard Ethan whisper to Tyler, 6 weeks, maybe less. What they didn't see was her other hand, hidden by her body, pressing the tiny button on her necklace. The $150 spy camera began recording. That night, Jessica sat in her sparse apartment, laptop open, reviewing the day's footage. She'd captured 17 separate incidents of intimidation across 4 class periods. Ethan had a system, a pattern. Her phone buzzed, encrypted number. "Find anything?" Her father's voice was gruff, worried. "He's Robert Mitchell's son, Dad. Everything you suspected." Silence. Then, "Jessica, maybe we should—" No, Anna, she cut him off, eyes fixed on a photo taped to her wall. A younger woman who looked just like her, arm in arm with another woman, both smiling, both unaware of the monsters they'd married. I found him. I'm finishing this. Your mother wouldn't want... My mother is dead because nobody stopped Robert Mitchell 25 years ago. I won't let history repeat itself. She hung up and turned back to her surveillance wall. Ethan Mitchell's schedule, his habits, his weaknesses, and most importantly, 4 teachers' testimonies. Voices digitally distorted, but pain crystal clear. First, they isolate you. Maria's voice crackled through the laptop speakers. Comments about your body, your clothes. Always when nobody else can hear clearly. Jessica fast-forwarded to another testimony. Then they escalate. My car tires slashed. Dead rat in my mailbox. Anonymous letters with pictures of me taken without my knowledge. Sahar, the third teacher, barely audible through her tears. Finally, they break you, in front of everyone. Make it look like you're crazy, hysterical. Nobody believes the hysterical woman. The fourth teacher hadn't given testimony. She'd been found in her apartment, pills scattered on the nightstand. Suicide, they said. Jessica knew better. A new message popped up. Unknown sender. She opened it carefully, running it through security protocols first. A single image filled her screen. The trophy room. Jessica's blood chilled. The photo showed a basement wall covered in monitors, each screen displaying a different woman. Teachers, students, some crying, some fighting, all being destroyed. At the bottom of the image, text appeared, "He keeps them all, every hunt, every victory." Jessica saved the image, adding it to her evidence folder. Then she stood, walking to her closet. She pushed aside the conservative teacher outfits she'd bought for this assignment, revealing her real clothes. Black tactical gear, the kind that moved silently, the kind that didn't tear when you fought. 6 weeks, she repeated Ethan's words. We'll see about that. Day 3 brought the first real test. Jessica was bent over, organizing papers on a low shelf when Ethan entered the empty classroom. She heard his footsteps pause, knew he was staring. She stayed in position a second longer than necessary, then straightened quickly, feigning surprise. "Oh, Ethan, I didn't hear you come in." He leaned against the door frame, blocking the exit. "Grading already? Such a dedicated teacher." "Just trying to stay organized," she said, moving behind her desk, creating distance. He followed, casual but purposeful. "You know, Miss Walker, you seem tense. The boys and I were thinking, maybe you'd like to join us for drinks. Help you relax." "I don't think that would be appropriate." "Come on." He moved closer. "Nobody has to know. We're all adults here." His hand reached toward her shoulder. She flinched away, perfectly timed. "Please, I need to finish these papers." He smiled at her fear, fed on it. "Of course, but Jessica, can I call you Jessica? We're going to be seeing a lot of each other. Might as well be friends." After he left, she immediately texted her handler. "Contact established. He's following the pattern exactly. Copy. Backup teams in position. Stay safe." Safe? Jessica almost laughed. She was hunting a multi-generational predator network. Safe wasn't in the vocabulary. That evening, her phone exploded. 47 text messages in 12 minutes. The first few seemed innocent enough. "Hey, beautiful," and "thinking about you." Then they turned darker, explicit, violent. Mixed in were photos. Her walking to her car, her at the grocery store, her through her apartment window. All taken that day. Then came the dick pics. Dozens of them. Some with her face photoshopped onto explicit images. She documented each one, forwarding them to the FBI server. A new message popped up. Check your Instagram. She didn't have Instagram, but when she searched her name, there it was, a fake profile with hundreds of photos, some real, stolen from her preparation files, others masterfully edited, her face on naked bodies, degrading positions, humiliating scenarios, already 200 comments. Other students, parents, teachers, all believing it was real. She called her tech support. How fast can we trace this? Already on it, bouncing through proxies, but got it. School computer lab, logged in under Tyler Brooks's account. Tyler Brooks, the nervous one, the weak link. Send me everything on Brooks, financial records, social media, academic history. There's leverage there. As she waited for the files, her apartment's security system chimed. Motion at the door. She checked the camera. A package. No delivery person in sight. She retrieved it carefully, scanning for devices. Clean. Inside. A single item. A dress. Floral pattern. Delicate. Vulnerable. A note was pinned to it. Wear this tomorrow. E. Jessica held up the dress, studying it. The fabric was thin, designed to tear easily. She'd seen this before in the victim testimonies. The humiliation ritual. Make them wear something fragile, then destroy it. And them. She hung the dress carefully in her closet. Tomorrow, she'd wear something else. Push back just enough to escalate his interest, make him work for it. Her laptop chimed. Tyler Brooks's files had arrived. As she read, the picture became clear. Scholarship student, single mother, medical bills piling up. And then, 6 months ago, suddenly flush with cash. New car, mom's treatments, paid for. Got you, she whispered. The next morning, Jessica wore a conservative pantsuit. Ethan's displeasure was immediate and obvious. During class, he made 7 attempts to undermine her authority, correcting her dates incorrectly, challenging her interpretations, encouraging other students to laugh at her mistakes. She let him. Each interaction carefully managed to appear weak while gathering more evidence. After class, Coach Bradley appeared. The football coach was a mountain of a man, intimidating even without trying. But Jessica had read his file. 3 divorce settlements, 2 restraining orders, all sealed, all paid off quietly. Miss Walker, he said, closing the classroom door behind him. We need to talk about Ethan Mitchell. Has he done something? She asked, making her voice small. That's what I'm trying to prevent. Bradley moved closer. See, Ethan's got a bright future. Full ride to state. NFL scouts already watching. You understand what that means for this school, this town. I'm not sure what I'm saying. His voice dropped. Is that sometimes young men make mistakes, say things they don't mean, and sometimes teachers misinterpret friendly behavior. Oh, Coach Bradley, has someone complained about? Nobody's complained about anything. He cut her off. And I'd like to keep it that way. Ethan's a good kid, comes from a good family. His father donates generously to the school. Wouldn't want any misunderstandings to ruin that. Jessica let tears well up in her eyes. I would never want to cause trouble. Good girl. Bradley patted her shoulder, the contact lasting too long. Knew you were smart. Just remember, we protect our own here. After he left, Jessica checked her hidden camera. Perfect audio. Clear video. Bradley had just implicated himself. She waited until the hallway was empty, then called her handler. Bradley's involved. He's running interference. How deep? All the way. Send me everything on his connection to Robert Mitchell. There's history there. That afternoon brought new escalation. The wolf pack surrounded her car in the parking lot. Not touching, not technically threatening, just standing close, too close. Nice ride. Ethan ran his finger along the hood. Be a shame if something happened to it. Please, I need to go home. Jessica clutched her keys, letting them shake. Relax, Mason Hughes laughed. We're just talking. Right, boys. They parted slowly, letting her through. As she drove away, she saw Ethan in her rearview mirror, watching, planning. That night, she performed her own inspection of the car. Sure enough, brake line had been scored. Not cut completely. That would be too obvious. Just weakened, designed to fail at the worst moment. She documented the damage, then called her support team. Need a swap, tonight. By morning, an identical Honda Civic sat in her driveway. Her original was being processed for evidence. Ethan would never know the difference. Day 7 brought the first attempt at physical contact. Jessica was writing on the board when Ethan approached from behind. She could sense him, feel the predatory intent. His hand reached for her hip. She spun away, accidentally dropping her papers. As she knelt to collect them, she heard him chuckle. Jumpy, aren't you? You startled me, she said, gathering papers with shaking hands. He knelt beside her, deliberately brushing against her. Here, let me help. Their hands touched as they reached for the same paper. He held on a moment too long. She pulled away, standing quickly. Thank you, she managed, backing toward her desk. Any time. He stood slowly, eyes never leaving hers. And Jessica. That dress I sent. Wear it Monday. Don't disappoint me. After he left, she found Tyler Brooks lingering by the door. Miss Walker. His voice was barely a whisper. Can I talk to you? She glanced around, ensuring they were alone. Of course, Tyler. He entered, closing the door. His hands shook worse than her fake tremors. I can't do this anymore. The words tumbled out. What we're doing, what he makes us do, it's wrong. Oh, Tyler, what are you talking about? He pulled out his phone, showed her a video. Her blood ran cold. It was him with someone, young, too young. He made me. Tyler was crying now. Said if I didn't, he'd destroy my mom. She needs her treatments. But now he has this, and Tyler, Jessica kept her voice steady. Where did this happen? The trophy room, he whispered. In the basement. He records everything. Everyone. Years of it. Can you get me in there? His eyes widened in terror. No, you don't understand. If he knew I told you, Tyler, listen to me. She gripped his shoulders. I can help you, but I need evidence. I need to see that room. He shook his head, backing away, then stopped, pulled something from his pocket, a key. Tomorrow night, he said. He'll be at the game. You'll have maybe an hour. Tyler. I can't anymore. He was at the door now. I won't hurt anyone else, even if it means... He left before she could stop him. Jessica stared at the key in her hand. Tomorrow night, she'd enter the belly of the beast. The next evening, Riverside High stood empty except for janitors and security. The football game was away. The whole town traveling to support their boys. Jessica moved through the shadows, avoiding cameras she'd mapped earlier. The basement door was exactly where Tyler had described. The key turned smoothly, too smoothly, like it had been used often. The stairs descended into darkness. She clicked on her tactical flashlight, keeping it low. At the bottom, another door, electronic lock. She pulled out her scanner, running through combinations. Click. Open. The trophy room exceeded her worst nightmares. 3 walls of monitors, hundreds of them, each playing different footage on loop. She recognized some faces, the 4 teachers who'd left. Maria Santos sobbing in a classroom. Another woman, God, was that the previous principal, being cornered in her office? But there were more, so many more. Students, young women from town. Some footage dated back 15 years. The center wall made her stomach turn. These weren't just recordings of abuse. They were curated, edited, labeled with dates, names, and ratings, like game scores. She found Ethan's section, 43 videos in 2 years, each more violent than the last, and in the corner, a work in progress, her name, her photos, empty spaces waiting to be filled. Jessica photographed everything, uploaded it all to secure servers. This was bigger than just Ethan. This was an institution. A separate monitor caught her eye. Older footage. Grainier. She recognized a younger Robert Mitchell, and the woman he was destroying. "Mom," Jessica whispered. But that wasn't the worst part. In the corner of the frame, barely visible, a child watched, maybe 12 years old, taking notes. Ethan. She found more videos. Robert training his son, teaching him to hunt, to hurt, to break people systematically. This wasn't just predation. It was inherited. Generational. Her phone vibrated. Text from her lookout. "Game ending early. Blowout. Get out. Now." Jessica grabbed the most crucial evidence and ran. She was 3 blocks away when Ethan's truck pulled into the school. Close. Too close. Back in her apartment. She couldn't stop shaking. Not from fear. From rage. The scope of this network. The number of victims. The systematic protection. Her handler called. "Jesus Christ. Jessica, we need to pull you out." "No. This is beyond the scope." "I said no." She stood, pacing. "He expects me to wear that dress Monday, to become victim number 44, but now I know his real weakness." "Which is," Jessica stared at the photo of young Ethan watching his father. "He needs to be seen as strong, as evolved beyond his father. But deep down he's still that 12-year-old boy, desperate for daddy's approval." "Jessica, Monday. The dress. The classroom. He'll make his move," she said. "And when he does, I'll be ready. But I need something first." "What?" "Everything you have on Robert Mitchell's death. And I mean everything." Monday arrived gray and drizzling. Jessica stood before her mirror, holding the floral dress. It was exactly what she'd profiled. Innocent. Vulnerable. Designed to tear at specific stress points. She put it on, then carefully began her modifications. Tiny cameras sewn into the hem. Microphones in the collar. A GPS tracker in the belt. And underneath, hidden by the flowing fabric, a different outfit entirely. Dark. Flexible. Ready. Her phone rang. "Dad. I know what you're doing today." His voice was thick with emotion. "Your mother would be proud. And terrified." "I know, Dad. I found Robert Mitchell." Jessica froze. "What? Not his body. His real killer. It wasn't the car accident. Dad. Your mother wasn't the only one who wanted him dead. Jess. There were others. A network of survivors. They made it look accidental." The implications hit her. If Ethan knew his father was murdered, "I have to go. Dad." "Jessica, wait!" She hung up. Time to end this. The school felt different. Charged. Word had spread somehow. Something was happening today. Students whispered in corners. Teachers avoided eye contact. Even the security guards seemed nervous. Jessica entered her classroom to find it rearranged. Desks in a perfect circle. Her desk pushed against the wall. The windows covered with paper. A note on the board, "Today's special lesson, Pair E." She set down her materials. Movements deliberately shaky. Then she wrote on the board, "American History Patterns of Violence." First period came and went. Normal students. Nervous energy. They sensed something but didn't know what. Second period. Still quiet. Third period arrived like a storm. The wolf pack entered in formation. Ethan last, closing the door with finality. The lock clicked. She noticed Tyler wasn't with them. Neither was Mason. "Good morning, class," Jessica said, voice trembling perfectly. "Morning, Miss Walker." Ethan smiled. "Love the dress." Snickers from the pack. They spread out, blocking exits. All of them had phones out, recording. "Today," Jessica turned to write on the board, "we're discussing patterns of violence in American history." "Actually," Ethan stood, "I thought we'd have a different lesson. Natural selection." He moved toward her with practiced confidence, the predator approaching wounded prey. The others shifted, getting better angles for their cameras. "Please, Ethan, sit down. You know what Darwin discovered." He kept advancing. "The strong survive. The weak, well." He was close now, so close she could see the excitement in his eyes, the anticipation. His hand reached out, fingers grazing the fabric of her dress. "Your sister begged prettier, Miss Walker." The words hit like ice water. "Sister, she didn't have a... unless..." His fingers tightened on the fabric and pulled. The dress tore exactly as designed. The sound echoed in the silent room. Cameras captured every moment. But something was wrong. Jessica wasn't screaming, wasn't crying. She turned slowly, dress falling away to reveal athletic gear underneath. But that wasn't what made Ethan step back. It was the scars. Across her back. Old wounds spelled out a single word. Survivor. "Your father gave me these," Jessica said calmly. 20 years ago. I was 4. The room held its breath. Ethan's face went white. "You're lying." "Your mother fought back," Jessica continued, circling him now. "Mine didn't. Not at first." "Shut up. Check your phone. Ethan, Tyler sent you something," with shaking hands. Ethan pulled out his phone. The video started immediately. His mother's voice, screaming, a man's fists, and in the corner, a young boy, watching, taking notes. "No," Ethan whispered. "You were 12, Jessica said. Old enough to help her. Strong enough to stop him. But you didn't. You joined him. I had to..." The scream tore from his throat. "I had to become strong. I had to evolve." "You became him," Jessica said simply, "and just like him, you're going down." That's when they heard it. Sirens. Lots of them. The door burst open. FBI agents flooded in. The wolf pack scattered, tried to run, nowhere to go. "Ethan Mitchell," the lead agent announced, "you're under arrest for sexual assault, blackmail, and running a criminal enterprise." But Ethan wasn't listening. He was staring at Jessica, pieces falling into place. "Walker," he whispered. "Jessica Walker. Jenny Walker's daughter." "My mother survived your father," Jessica said as they cuffed him. "Barely. But she made sure I'd be ready if another Mitchell ever appeared." They dragged him away. But his eyes never left hers. The predator finally understanding he'd been hunted all along. The classroom erupted. Students screaming, crying, filming. The story was already going viral. But Jessica wasn't done. She walked to the board, still in her tactical gear, and finished writing her lesson. American history, patterns of violence. Sometimes they repeat. Sometimes someone breaks the cycle. Her handler's voice crackled through her earpiece. "Trophy room secured. 47 arrests so far. 3 states. This is huge." Jessica. But she was already looking at her phone. At the next school. The next hunt. Because Ethan was right about one thing. This was about evolution. And predators only evolved when prey learned to fight back. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. A single line, "You think you won, check the news, E." Jessica switched to a news app. Breaking story. Mass shooter threat at 3 high schools. Wolfpack promises retaliation. The war wasn't over. It had just begun. The news alert flashed across every phone in the building. 3 high schools. Coordinated threats. The Wolfpack insignia attached to each message. "Everybody stay calm," Jessica commanded, her voice cutting through the panic. "Single file to the exits, now." But she wasn't watching the students evacuate. She was reading the rest of Ethan's message. A private text, sent from a phone he shouldn't have had access to. The trophy room was just the beginning. Dad left more than videos. Check locker 247. You have 5 minutes before it uploads everything. Every victim. Every name. Every address. Let them all burn, E. Jessica ran. Through emptying hallways, past panicking teachers, down to the basement. The FBI teams were processing evidence, but they'd missed something. Ethan had planned for this. Locker 247 stood in a forgotten corner. Industrial size, locked with a digital keypad. She had minutes to crack it, or hundreds of victims would be exposed. Their trauma weaponized. Think. What would Ethan use? Not random numbers. Something meaningful. She tried his birthday. Nothing. Football jersey? No. Then it hit her. The date his father died. But not the official date. The real date. The murder her father had just revealed. Click. Inside. A server system uploading terabytes of data. 4 minutes remaining on the countdown. But there was more. Folders. Physical ones. Names she recognized. And one that made her blood freeze. Agent Walker. Termination approved. Her handler. Her backup. They'd been compromised from the start. "Jessica, what's your status?" The voice in her earpiece suddenly sounded different. Dangerous. She ripped out the earpiece, mind racing. The FBI team upstairs. How many were real? How many were part of this? 3 minutes. She couldn't stop the upload. But she could redirect it. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, rerouting the data stream. Not to the public internet. To a secure server. One she'd set up herself. Off the books. 2 minutes. Footsteps on the stairs. Heavy. Multiple. Not running to help. Hunting. "Miss Walker?" a voice called. "Agent Harrison. The one who'd cuffed Ethan. We need to secure that evidence." 1 minute. She grabbed the crucial folders, shoving them inside her tactical vest. The upload was 90% complete. Almost there. "I know you're down here." Harrison's voice closer now. "Ethan told us everything. About your father. About what he's been doing." 30 seconds. What? Her father Jessica's mind reeled, but her hands kept working. The final files transferring. 15 dead abusers, Jessica. Your daddy's been busy. Did you think you were the only one hunting? 10 seconds. The upload finished. Jessica smashed the server with a fire extinguisher, then dove behind a concrete pillar as gunshots exploded where she'd been standing. "Wrong move. Jessica," Harrison shouted. "You just made this personal." She counted muzzle flashes. 3 shooters. Real FBI agents or just corrupt ones. Didn't matter now. Jessica pulled a smoke grenade from her vest. Standard equipment for undercover work. The basement filled with thick gray clouds. "Can't see shit," someone yelled. She moved. Silent. Deadly. Just like her father taught her. The first man went down with a strike to the throat. She took his weapon. Badge, radio. The second tried to grab her. Krav Maga training kicked in. He hit the floor hard. Harrison fired blindly into the smoke. You're just like him, another vigilante thinking you're above the law. The law protected them. Jessica's voice came from everywhere and nowhere. The law failed those women. She found Harrison by his breathing, panicked, shallow. He spun toward her footstep, but she was already behind him. The chokehold was swift, precise, non-lethal. As he dropped, she whispered, "The difference between me and my father, I leave them alive to face justice." The smoke cleared. Jessica stood among 3 unconscious agents, but she could hear more coming. Time to go? She burst from the emergency exit into chaos. Students everywhere, parents arriving, media vans. Perfect cover. She blended into the crowd, just another panicked teacher. Her phone buzzed. Tyler Brooks. "They took me to the station. I'm ready to talk, all of it. But I need protection. Real protection." She typed back, "On my way. Trust no one with a badge." The police station was a circus. Lawyers, reporters, angry parents. Jessica slipped through using Harrison's badge, finding Tyler in interrogation room 3. He looked broken, but determined. "Start from the beginning," she said, activating her recorder. "It goes back decades." Tyler began. "My brother was in the original Wolfpack, 1998. He tried to get out. They destroyed him, made him kill himself. But first, they made him recruit me. How many schools? Every major football program in the state, some basketball, wrestling. It's not just athletes, coaches, administrators, police, judges. They call it the network." "How many victims?" Tyler pulled out a notebook. Hundreds of entries, names, dates, video reference numbers. "This is just our school, just 5 years." Jessica photographed each page. The scope was staggering, and somewhere in this network, her handler had been turned, or had been part of it from the start. Tyler, who runs it, who's above Ethan, his uncle, Senator Mitchell. The pieces clicked. Robert Mitchell's brother, now a state senator. Of course. Where is he now? Emergency meeting. Damage control. They're planning to... The lights went out. "Down!" Jessica shoved Tyler under the table as the door exploded inward. Not cops. Wolfpack. The real ones. Adults. Ethan's inheritance. Tyler talks. Tyler dies. One growled. Jessica counted 4. Tight quarters. Limited options. But they'd made one mistake. They'd come for Tyler. They hadn't come prepared for her. The first man lunged. She redirected his momentum into the wall. The second swung a baton. She caught it, broke his wrist, used the weapon on the third. The fourth pulled a gun. Tyler threw the notebook, hitting his arm. The shot went wide. Jessica closed the distance, disarming him with a move that looked like dancing. 4 down, but more would come. "We're leaving," she told Tyler. "Now." They ran through dark corridors. Emergency lighting kicked in, casting everything in red. Like blood. Like the trophy room. "My car!" Tyler gasped. "Parking garage!" They hit the garage running. Tyler's car chirped, 10 feet away. 5. "Stop!" Coach Bradley stood by the car, alone, unarmed, smiling. "You think you've won something?" He laughed. Ethan was sloppy, emotional, like his father. "But the network, we're evolution. We're survival. You're parasites," Jessica said. "We're nature," Bradley countered. "The strong take from the weak, always have, always will. You can arrest 100 of us, 1,000. There'll always be more. Then I'll stop them too." Bradley's smile widened. "Like your daddy tried 15 dead men. Jessica, all network members, all unsolved. He's been hunting us for 20 years. Where did it get him? Jessica felt the truth slam home. Her father, the encrypted calls, his knowledge of Robert Mitchell. He wasn't just helping her. He was a killer. Oh, you didn't know? Bradley laughed. Your hero, Daddy, is a serial killer. And when we expose him, who'll believe anything you say? Tyler made a sound, small, scared. Bradley had just signed his death warrant. Tyler, Jessica said calmly, get in the car. I don't think so. Bradley stepped forward. Jessica moved faster. The strike to his solar plexus doubled him over. The knee to his face put him down. But she didn't stop there. She knelt beside him. Speaking clearly for the camera she knew was recording. My father kills predators. I put them in cages. Guess which one hurts more. They left Bradley groaning in the garage. Tyler drove while Jessica made calls. Real contacts. People she'd verified independently. The network was vast, but not infinite. Where are we going? Tyler asked. Somewhere safe. Then we're going to do what Ethan never expected. What? We're going to tell the truth. All of it. Publicly. Live. Tyler's hands tightened on the wheel. They'll destroy us. They'll try. Jessica agreed. But secrets only have power in the dark. Her phone rang. Dad. Jessica, I know what Bradley told you. Is it true? Silence. Then, yes, the word hit harder than any punch. Her hero. Her protector. A killer. They destroyed your mother. He continued. Drove her to suicide. The law did nothing. So I did something. You became them. No. His voice was fierce. I removed them. No pleasure. No trophies. Just justice. That's not justice, Dad. That's revenge. Sometimes they're the same thing. Jessica closed her eyes, felt the weight of generations of violence. Patterns repeating, cycles continuing. Where are you, Dad? Senator Mitchell's house. He needs to answer for what his family created. Dad, no. We have evidence, real evidence. We can do this right. Like we did with Robert, like the system did with your mother. The line went dead. Change of plans, Jessica told Tyler. Senator's house. Fast. Tyler floored it. Streets blurred past. Jessica called her real handler, the one she'd verified through 5 separate sources. We have a situation. Senator Mitchell is in immediate danger. From who? My father. And if he kills a senator, everything we've built burns down. Teams en route. Jessica, if your father is there, I'll handle my father. The senator's mansion glowed with emergency lights, police cars, federal vehicles. But Jessica knew her father. He wouldn't come through the front. Stay here, she told Tyler. Whatever happens, upload everything in 30 minutes. She slipped around Siek, through gardens she'd studied on satellite images. The basement window was already broken. Of course, her father had taught her that entry point. The house felt tomb quiet. She moved through familiar shadows. Her father had trained her here, in houses just like this, teaching her to hunt, never realizing he was creating his replacement. Voices from the study. She recognized both. Her father's low growl, Senator Mitchell's panicked pleading. You network bastards took everything, her father was saying. My wife, my daughter's innocence, 20 years of watching you spread like cancer. Please, Mitchell begged. I can give you names. The whole structure. Too late for deals. Jessica entered silent as smoke. Her father stood over Mitchell, gun steady. He looked older, tired, like he'd been carrying this weight too long. Dad, he didn't turn. Go home, Jessica. Can't do that. He deserves this. They all did. Maybe. Jessica stepped closer. But this isn't justice. It's just another man with power deciding who lives and dies. You sound like your mother. Good. She was the strongest of us all. She survived. She rebuilt. She raised me to be better than this. The gun wavered. They broke her. They tried, Jessica corrected. But she won. By living. By choosing love over hate. By raising me to break the cycle. Not continue it. Her father finally looked at her, tears on his weathered face. I failed her, failed you. No, Jessica moved between him and Mitchell. You protected us the only way you knew how. But there's another way now. Help me show them. Sirens approaching. Time running out. They'll arrest me, her father said. Probably. But you'll be alive, and the world will know why you did it. No more shadows, no more secrets. He looked at the gun, at Mitchell, at his daughter. Then slowly, so slowly, he lowered the weapon. I'm tired, Jesse. I know, Dad. It's over now. The task force burst in, professional, efficient. They cuffed both men. As they led her father away, he stopped. Your mother would be proud. She'd be proud of both of us for ending it. Senator Mitchell was screaming about connections, promises, threats. Nobody listened. The evidence was too overwhelming. The network was burning down. Jessica found Tyler in protective custody, surrounded by federal agents she'd personally vetted. He was on his laptop, uploading everything. It's done, he said. Every video, every name, every crime, public. The internet exploded. News channels scrambled. A 20-year criminal enterprise exposed in minutes. Hundreds of arrests across 6 states. But Jessica was already looking forward. Ethan Mitchell sat in a psychiatric hold. Catatonic. The weight of his father's legacy finally crushing him. He'd wanted to evolve beyond Robert Mitchell. Instead, he'd become him. And that truth broke what was left of his mind. Coach Bradley pled guilty to 43 counts. The trophy room videos, ensuring he'd never see freedom again. Senator Mitchell faced federal charges. RICO. Conspiracy. The network's political protection evaporating overnight. And Tyler Brooks became the first of many to testify. His courage inspiring other victims. The silent finally finding their voices. 1 week later, Jessica stood in her empty apartment. The walls bare. The mission complete. Her handler entered, legitimate this time. Her father's words echoed evolution through elimination. But he'd been wrong. Evolution came through exposure, through justice, through breaking cycles with truth instead of violence. The war on predators had evolved. And for the first time in generations, the predators were afraid, as they should be.